That's too bad.
We took, I had Villa.
Scholarship there.
Yeah, so I couldn't, barely made it there as it was.
So we sat by
You know what you want.
Barb and
Yeah.
Jim, and
Yeah,
that was
we're
dinner.
not. I don't know if we're getting exactly what it's
It's too bad.
I think it's a couple minutes after 4, and for the sake of people who have things to do, is this on? Hello? Can you all hear me? Okay, welcome back, everybody. So good to see you with this nice weather here. I'm really blessed and surprised you came here. It's really hard to be indoors right now, but it's good that you're here tonight because it is our last lesson tonight. It's not our last meeting, it's our last lesson. And Jon Syvertson, our very own IT guy and pilot, he will be presenting on nutrition tonight. But before we start, I want to go through some of these nice, funny sayings that I have fun looking up. And I'm going to pick on some of our medical professionals tonight. There's a comedian that says, "Isn't it a bit unnerving that doctors call what they do practice?" And Dale, maybe you can tell us what your plants look like. Irma Bombeck said, "Never go to a doctor whose office plants have died." I hope your plants are living well and thriving at your house. Milton Berle, "My doctor recently told me that jogging could add years to my life. I think he was right. I feel 10 years older already." And another comedian, "You have to stay in shape. My grandmother started walking 5 miles a day when she was 60. She's 97 today, and we still don't know where she is." And laughter is good for us. Proverbs 18:14 says, "The spirit of a man, the spirit of a person will sustain their infirmity, but a wounded spirit, who can bear it?" So it's good to have laughter and a positive attitude and a joyful outlook. I think we all know already, we've gone through it many times what the Creation Seminar is about, and tonight our last lesson is on nutrition, and with no further delay, Jon Syvertson.
Thank you. Yes, and if somebody said 5 years, told me 5 years ago that I'd be giving a talk on nutrition, it was probably the farthest thing from my mind. But sometimes life's journey takes you in different paths, and I'll talk a little bit about why it became important to me a little bit later. How is everybody tonight?
Good thing.
Good. So, and before I start, just one little disclaimer, because it's critical. If you should decide that you really want to go with a whole food, plant-based diet, this whole thing is about choices. It's just different degrees of what you decide that you want to do. But if you do, and you're on any kind of medications or whatever, just work with your physician, because it can cause changes in your body, so that those changes need to be monitored, whether it's your blood pressure, your blood sugar levels, cholesterol, and that kind of thing. So in review here, I have a question. Of all the 8 topics that we covered, which one do you think is the most important? Anybody want to? You can't say anything. Yes, Elaine.
Choice.
Yep, a pastor.
I agree.
Okay, well, hey, let's do a little exercise and we'll find out the song. I'm going to need your involvement. I've got just some very basic statements, and they're all related to what we've been talking about here with Creation Health. So here we go. The decisions we make about the people we spend time with can have a great impact on our lives, for either the good or bad, and will affect how we view the future. So what all areas of interest here that we, under creation, did I just talk about?
Choice, interpersonal.
Choice, that's the decision process, yep. The people that we spend time with have a great impact in our lives. What's that? Interpersonal. You want to mark these down too?
Oh.
Yeah. So we can keep track, because then we'll know what's the most important one, yeah. Just put an I underneath it. Just like keep a tally, yeah. Okay, for either the good or the bad, and it will affect how we view the future. Outlook, okay. So the next statement here, when we decide to eat right and exercise, we'll feel better about ourselves. Many times it will help us sleep better as well.
Nutrition.
Yep, eat right, nutrition, activity, exercise,
Rest.
and rest. Which one did we miss?
Environment.
Remember what I
Choice.
said. When we decide to,
Choice.
Choice.
Yep. when we decide to eat right, so that's choice, okay. So what's our tally? Yep, you gotta write them down again. Yep. So, deciding to declutter our lives and homes can help us to focus on what's truly important.
Environment.
What else?
Choice.
Right, environment and choice. Okay, so when we decide or when we take time to understand what God's plan is for our lives through His Word, it will better foster faith, understanding, and trust in God's will for our life.
Trust.
So when we take time, I didn't say decide or anything like that, but what is that?
Choice.
That's a choice, yep. So, and it will help us foster faith, understanding, and trust in God's will for our lives. And what, your trust? Yep. So, there we go. We have, what's the winner? Choice. Okay, so Adele, you were right.
That was Elaine. Hey.
And Elaine and Pastor. I stifled him.
Okay.
Okay. So, enjoying the bounties of Eden. The last 7 weeks we've been learning about creation health, and tonight's topic here is on nutrition. And this is just one way to help us in a concrete way. And Jesus said in John 10:10, I have come that you may have life to the fullest. Enjoying the bounties of Eden. Those that think they have no time for healthy eating, will sooner or later have to find time for illness. That's from Edward Stanley. A vast array of research supports the fact that the optimal diet is a diet that's a whole food, plant-based diet. This will provide plenty of fiber, includes healthy quantities of grains, vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds. We find this counsel in the Bible. And here it's interesting, it says listen twice. I know sometimes when I was not listening, I might hear listen to me more than one time from my parents. So it's a way of God getting our attention. It says listen to me, and eat what is good, and your soul will delight in the richest fare. Give ear and come to me, hear me, that your soul may live. That's from Isaiah 55, 2-3. So 6 out of 10 Americans are overweight primarily due to their dietary habits and practices. And for some reason, obesity and diabetes go hand in hand. So what term's been spawned from that fact? The fact that diabetes and obesity go together. Somebody said it? That's right. Yep. Childhood obesity has become a huge problem as well in the U.S., and with an increasing number of children being diagnosed with adult onset diabetes. So I'm not just picking on you, Pam, when I get on your case about some of this stuff. And here's where the power of our choice is. It's the power of positive. It's being conscious of what we're putting in our body. So decisions to drink more water, to eat breakfast, more fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds. And you can think, you don't have to go whole hog with this. It can just be making a few small changes over time, but continually being conscious of what those changes are. So I have about a 6-minute video here that we'll show right now.
Of all the ways we have to be creation healthy, nutrition is perhaps the most powerful. Would you like to be happier and more energetic, stronger and healthier, substantially decrease your risk of disease? Then start here. Improve your nutrition. And you can start small. There was a man who was 100 pounds overweight. He was too self-conscious to even attend the nutrition classes his employer offered. So he met with the nutritionist personally for help. The first week, she asked him to record everything he ate. After reviewing his food journal, she suggested he start eating 1 piece of fruit every day. But what about the pound of fudge I eat every day? Shouldn't I stop? Don't worry about it, she said. It'll take care of itself. And it did. He started achieving his weight loss goals because of this simple but powerful principle. When you keep filling your life with positive things, soon there will be no room for negative things. He didn't give up his pound of fudge all at once. He replaced it, little by little, by simply adding something healthier every day. But what about your diet? Can you make a positive addition today? Maybe eat more of creation's wonderful fruits and vegetables. How about adding a couple of glasses of water? Can you start eating breakfast more regularly? My point is, choose to start just by making a few small positive changes in your diet. And don't beat yourself up over all the unhealthy stuff. Focus on the good, and you will succeed. Dr. Winnie King brings home some new perspectives to this incredibly important aspect of living.
Food is the energy that makes it possible for our body to regenerate and grow. To get better results, all we have to do is fuel our body with better food. Human blood cells only live for about 4 months, so our body is constantly replacing old blood cells with new ones. Thousands of new cells regenerate in our body daily. That's why fueling our body with the highest quality of food helps to create the healthiest cells. So we should enjoy a variety of foods that are prepared in fresh ways. A balanced approach that adds colors, textures, and flavors is best. Different foods equal different nutrients. We should also guard ourselves against diet gimmicks, tricks, and trends. Ask, how is this different from what I know is a balanced diet? And how will this affect my health overall? If it proposes dramatic changes from a regular eating schedule or from normal foods, then don't fall for it because it isn't a healthy diet. Think back to the creation story. The original diet we find is plant-based. Have you ever wondered why God gave us a vegetarian diet in the beginning? He wants what's best for us. So he gave us a diet that helps us live life to the fullest. It's a diet that energizes us. It prevents disease while creating and maintaining our best health. The original diet we find in Eden had a ratio of 60% carbohydrates to 14% protein. And what are some benefits of this diet? Well, for starters, it's high in fiber. Some high fiber foods are beans, legumes, whole grains, pasta, vegetables, fruits, and nuts. Fiber makes us feel full, which means we don't eat as much. High fiber foods help us achieve and maintain a healthy weight. A study involving more than 74,000 women showed that those who ate more whole grains weighed less. Research also shows that eating 3 servings of fruits daily helps with healthy weight loss. High fiber foods cause blood sugar to rise slowly, requiring less insulin to process the meal. They also slow the emptying of food from the stomach, increasing the absorption of simple sugars in the small intestine. Other benefits of a vegetarian diet that's high in fiber include lower serum cholesterol concentrations, lower risk of heart disease, reduced blood pressure, better glycemic control, which reduces the risk of diabetes, and improved digestive function. And it's a fact that a vegetarian diet leads to the lowest risk of cancer, period. Despite these benefits, some might wonder if it's possible to get enough protein on a vegetarian diet. Research shows that a proper vegetarian diet does in fact supply all of our protein needs. Here are some other important findings. With plant foods, we experience a slow, continuous release of energy, helping our body maintain consistent serotonin levels. This helps control our mood, appetite, and food cravings throughout the day. High-fiber foods reduce emotional distress as well by increasing brain function since it's being fueled by a steady release of glucose. Adults who eat high-fiber foods for breakfast are more productive and think more clearly. As you might imagine, good nutrition affects children positively too. In one study, the meals were changed in school lunches served to more than 1 million New York City public school students. In just 1 year, a more wholesome diet caused a 16% increase in academic performance and a 41% decrease in the number of children with learning disabilities. In another study involving 8,000 teenagers at 9 different juvenile correctional facilities, researchers replaced diets high in sugar and refined foods with diets high in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. During the year in which the diets were changed, violent and antisocial incidents at the institutions decreased by almost half. A good diet improves quality of life all the way around.
So before we get started here, I brought along some things I'm going to demonstrate a little bit later here. I'm not going to demonstrate how to make this, but anybody know what this is? Sauerkraut, yeah. What is sauerkraut? That is, I was talking about this with Sam earlier today, and I said it was lactose fermentation. It's lacto fermentation, which there's a difference. So really all that's in here is just some salt and cabbage, but you have to really break it down to get it to, basically it's just a process of scrunching it, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it.
What do you mean?
Well, after you shave all the cabbage down, you put it in a big bowl and put the salt, and I'll have a recipe and instructions, but you just scrunch it. And what's going to happen is the salt is going to draw out the fluids in there, and it's going to become just like a limp, and it'll have like a whole bunch of water in it, basically. And then it gets packed in there. And this was left for a week. Is how long that will, and we'll be able to eat this later this evening. So, and the other thing we're going to do is we're going to make a cheese sauce, and we'll be able to try it with some chips. And I'll make some that half of it, some people don't like hot things. I'll make half of it with jalapenos for those that like it a little spicier. So the simple wise decisions about nutrition can have rich health rewards because nutrition impacts our quality of life and longevity. Interesting fact about our blood is that it's rejuvenated every 4 months. Which basically means that every 4 months we have brand new cells, so the body is able to heal itself and correct problems in a relatively quick time period. Anybody know what Hippocrates, who lived about 300 years before Christ, what his famous saying in the area of health is? Anybody?
Medicine be your food and food be your medicine.
Yep, that's right. Very good. Everybody hear that? Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. So, 30, 40 minutes talking about nutrition, really it's kind of it's a bit futile because it's such a broad area Doing the best I can here. But how many have ever been confused about nutrition? I know I have. It seems like every time you turn around, eggs are good for you, they're not good for you. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. They go back and forth on that particular topic. So, just be a wise consumer in how you approach nutrition and dietary practices. Just keep your mind engaged in that process. A very important principle in nutrition, however, is a broad variety. God has given us a lot of different foods, many different colors, and if you want to make changes, I also want to encourage you to take upon yourself to just start learning more about nutrition. It's amazing that I went to school. No longer do they have home ec, and home ec really wasn't a nutrition class but something so important as that, it's gone from education entirely. And we do have a healthcare problem in here. So really, prevention is probably the only rational solution to that. I'm going to share some information. I brought along some different pieces of information. I'll have a resources sheet for you later to share with you some reading material that I've found useful. So just focusing on a balanced diet, just eat a variety of foods fixed in a variety of different ways, and just you don't have to follow the latest fads. Food's a blessing from God, and it's fuel for our life. And one important principle is just the closer it is to the way God gave it to us, the better it is for us. When we tamper, we like to think we can improve on it, when in reality we're not. So also in the end, I'm going to have a little chart that's going to just kind of demonstrate this. I pulled that chart out of this book right here. Anybody seen this? How many are familiar with T. Colin Campbell and his son in the China studies? So we've got a few people here that have seen that before. So I just have a little video here now. So.
Before fast food became a way of life, we enjoyed fast foods that were even faster and easier to eat, such as apples, bananas, and almonds. Nature's nutrient-rich fast foods come in a spectrum of colors. Purple, red, and blue fruits and vegetables are rich in phytochemicals called anthocyanins. These rid the body and brain of free radical damage. Orange, yellow, and green vegetables are rich in stress-lowering carotenoids. How important is fruit and vegetable consumption? Well, the World Health Organization reports that nearly 3 million people die each year simply because they're not eating enough fruits and vegetables. 5 servings a day is all we need. 20% of all cancer is preventable by eating 5 servings of fruit and vegetables daily. Here's some tips to get you started. Eat broccoli. This vegetable wins top honors when it comes to promoting health. Ounce for ounce, it has more vitamin C than an orange and as much calcium as a glass of milk. 1 medium sprig of broccoli has 3 times more fiber than a slice of wheat bread. It's also one of our richest sources of vitamin A. Consider these benefits. Broccoli minimizes the risk of cataracts and helps protect against strokes. It contains a substance called isothiocyanates, which stimulate the body to create its own cancer-fighting substances. Isothiocyanates also block the growth of melanoma skin cancer cells. People who eat the most cruciferous vegetables have a much lower risk of prostate, colon, and lung cancers, even when compared to people who regularly eat other vegetables. Other cruciferous vegetables such as kale, cabbage, and cauliflower contain compounds that signal our genes to increase enzymes that detoxify the body. In a study of women in Singapore, a city of high levels of air pollution, non-smokers who ate cruciferous vegetables lowered their risk of lung cancer by 30%. Smokers who ate them reduced their lung cancer risk by 69%. Want a simple way to detoxify your body? Eat cruciferous vegetables like kale, spinach, broccoli, turnips, cauliflower, collards, bok choy, and cabbage. Bottom line, fruits and vegetables protect us from disease, and they create a higher quality and quantity of life. But let's move on to another food, beans. Beans are a great source of protein and fiber, and they're low in calories and fat. Eating beans reduces the risk of heart disease, stroke, helps with diabetes, and helps prevent cancer. A University of Kentucky study found that men who increased their bean intake for 3 weeks lowered their cholesterol by 19%, which reduced their risk of heart attack by 40%. Also, drinking soybean milk more than once a day decreased the risk of prostate cancer by 70%. Now, what conclusions can we make based on the research we've covered in this section? One of the easiest, quickest, and most effective ways to feel better and stronger is to color your diet. Eat at least 5 servings of different color fruits and vegetables a day, and you'll feel better and have more energy.
So, I don't know about you, but my head's kind of swimming with all them facts and figures and this, that, and the other about this food being good for this one being good for that. It's all good information, but you get lost in all the information. I'll say it again, just keep in mind that when it comes to a balanced diet, really variety is what it's about. Here we have another alternative to fast foods. A small bag of carrots in your briefcase, an apple in your car, grabbing a banana on the run, dried fruit in your desk drawer, and frozen vegetables cooked in a microwave. And they now sell these little packages. You put them in the microwave and they're done in 3 minutes. So there's a lot of facts and figures that support that the benefits of a diet high in plant-based food. So this little diagram here, on the left here you can see angiograms, coronary angiograms of a distal left anterior descending artery. This you can see where it's kind of closed up. Here you can see it's open. These are the exact same ones on one person. And this is information that's documented by Dr. Esselstyn. And the evidence is very strong that basically after 32 months with a plant-based diet, and it's not just plant-based, he keeps it very low oil as well. Because even plant oils in excess do have negative effects on your arteries. So he has over 20 years study in his practice where he documented his patients with their heart disease. He was a very hands-on doctor. His approach was he counseled and he coached people on really how to switch to a plant-based diet. And he has learned that most definitely a whole foods plant-based diet, when it's low in fat, can reverse heart disease. This is a book he wrote. I don't have that here. I think I've seen it in Mom's shelf. How to prevent and reverse heart disease. I believe I saw that in your shelf.
Being healthy is about consistently making the better choice. Here are some easy ways to start enjoying better health today. Keep an apple with you. Remember the adage, an apple a day keeps the doctor away? Well, apples do reduce cancer risk, heart disease, asthma, and type 2 diabetes. They increase lung function and weight loss. Also, the pectin found in their skin grabs toxins like lead and mercury and flushes them out of the body. Apples also help protect us from damaging UVB radiation. So keep an apple with you. Better yet, keep 2. Of the 10 brands commonly consumed in the U.S., Fuji apples have the highest total phenolic and flavonoid compounds. Red Delicious are high too. Begin by simply adding an apple to your diet today. You don't have to make any other changes if you're not ready. Besides keeping an apple with you, grab a handful of almonds. Studies show that eating 5 or more servings of nuts a week reduces heart attack risk by 51%. It also cuts the risk of dying from coronary artery disease by 44% compared to eating nuts less than once a week. Almonds and walnuts in particular help fight Alzheimer's disease. Additionally, nuts are a good source for choline, a brain-boosting chemical. If you're looking for a simple way to feel a lot better now, then separate some almonds and walnuts into individual servings in bags. And as you're headed out the door, take a bag or 2 with you. Eat them for a quick snack or when you're hungry. Drink more water, not just liquid, but water. All of the body's important chemical reactions take place in water. Its role is vital for nutrient absorption, temperature control, and waste removal. Dehydration warning signs include headache, lightheadedness, dizziness, and tiredness. Start drinking more water if you experience any of these symptoms. A lack of water also reduces alertness and the ability to concentrate. Getting enough water reduces certain cancer risks and is also vital for metabolizing fat, making us thinner. Do you have more on your to-do list than you can get done? Then make time for a healthy breakfast because it increases your production output. Take a few minutes for a bowl of oatmeal and some fruit. This sharpens your mind and fuels your body for hours with energy. Here's a thought. If you don't have time for breakfast, then grab an apple, a bag of almonds, and a bottle of water as you head out the door and eat on the way to wherever you're headed. Change is easier when we start small because little choices add up to create big results. So take action today and start living your life to the fullest with better nutrition.
Our guiding principle here has been keep filling our life with positive things until there's no room for negative things. In other words, let the good squeeze out the bad. Which quick start action step can you start implementing right now? Can you eat an apple every day? Or find a handful of almonds or walnuts? Can you plan a quick healthy breakfast for tomorrow? What about water? Where you start is up to you. Start small to reap big results and begin living a healthier, stronger, and more energetic life today. That's Creation Health.
She touched on the importance of water, and it's true. I mean, you have to make a concerted effort to get 6 to 8 glasses of water each day, and even more if you're exercising and if it's hot. So again, in our choices, just focus on making positive changes and just add good things to your diet. Okay, in summary here, small things that you can do is you can keep an apple with you. You can grab a handful of almonds, drink water, eat your breakfast, and making positive additions. So food's a blessing from God, and it's our fuel for life. God's eating plan is found in the Bible. The closer it is to the way that God made it, the better it is for us. And we should eat to live and not live to eat. One of the things when you're making a decision to make a choice, don't necessarily expect the people around you to think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's not likely to happen. I personally have found it rewarding, and part of the reason why I started to get interested in this is probably over the last, I'd say 7 or 8 years, I've had probably 4 or 5 bouts of gout flare-ups. If anybody knows what that is, that's extremely painful. And it was last spring that I had, it was the worst I ever had it. And it laid me up in bed for probably 4 days. Excruciatingly painful, and to the point where I couldn't even get up and walk around without a lot of pain. So I decided to make some changes, because you know, doctors will tell you, yeah, it's diet related. It's what you're putting in your body. So I did a little bit of research, and I just decided to just do it, because I didn't want to take medications, and that was the only other alternative. So, again, 7 healthy eating guidelines. So eat a variety of foods. Balance the food you eat with physical activity to maintain or improve your weight. Choose a diet low in total fat, saturated fat, and cholesterol. Choose a diet with plenty of vegetables, fruits, grains. Choose a diet moderate in sugars. And it should be moderate in salts and sodiums. And if you drink alcohol, do so in moderation, or even better, to not drink it at all. So, here are the things that we should maximize. Whole grains, fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, and your water. Things to moderate. The amount of food eaten. I'll just say, I don't moderate my food very much, but with what I'm eating, I really eat till I'm full, and sometimes even maybe a little over full. But without really trying, I've lost over 10 pounds in the last year. Oops. So here are the things to minimize. Animal protein, fat, processed food intakes, sugar intake, salt intake, artificial sweeteners, toxins. Eat organically, and where you can avoid GMO foods, do so. It's another example of man tampering with foods. And for your health, just a whole food, plant-based diet. That will alleviate many of the health risks that we have right now. So this is a little chart. And what's in this chart is 100 calories of whole food plants, 100 calories of animal foods, and 100 calories of refined plant foods. Okay, so in the whole foods, it consisted of mangoes, peas, broccolis, kale, and oats. For the animals foods, it was whole milk, chicken, beef, salmon, and eggs. And for the refined plants, it was potato chips, a white variety of spaghetti, cola, donuts, and Italian dressing. So, looking at this here, the whole plants, you had 29 grams of protein, animal was 51, and refined plants, 6.5. Not much in the refined plants. Okay, lipids. What are lipids? They're fat. Yep. I had to look that up because I was, what's a lipid? 34 in the animal foods. Refined plants was 21. There's only 6 in the whole plants. However, people think you've got to add fat to your diet, but when you're eating plants, where do we think we get all these essential oils from? It's from the plants themselves. By the way, how much fiber, something that's very important in our diet, is in animal foods? Means
0. Yeah.
That's correct. Yep. They don't have this on the diagram, but
Yes. 4.
so what's that? Oh yeah, there it is. There's fiber. 27. Nothing in animals. So here, calcium. You think you got to drink milk to get your calcium? Well, there's 410 micrograms in plants, 250 in animal foods. So as you can see, if you eat 100 calories of each one of these, you're going to get vastly greater nutrition by eating whole foods. So we each have a choice in our diets, whether they're good or bad, And just because you make a bad choice one day, you say, I'm going to splurge. I like to have my donuts here and there. Or my cookies, when Mary's baking cookies, yeah, I like them. Those are awesome. But hope we can just see that the diet that God originally gave us, it was given to us so we can enjoy our life and have abundant health. So John 10:10, the thief does not come except to steal and to kill and to destroy. I have come that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. So just a question here, where else in the Bible did a plant-based diet, where'd that come in? Where else in the Bible is it talked about? Anybody?
Besides the garden.
Besides Eden.
Oh, at the end when it talks about the weeds.
No, Dale's raised his hand.
Tree of life?
That's another place. That's kind of in the future.
Elaine has got it.
Elaine? What did you?
I said probably Nebuchadnezzar and Daniel.
Daniel, yes, exactly. So anybody, just for your homework, if you want to go read about that, it's in Daniel 1. Daniel chose not to, the way it was referred to in the Bible, not to defile himself with the king's food. And he asked for plant food. So in Revelation 14, which is an end-time message, the call is made for us to worship God, who created all heaven and earth. And in summary, this message is represented by an angel with a loud cry. The angel tells us to fear God and give glory to Him in our worship and in everything we do. He's asked us to worship the Creator of heaven and earth. And at creation, God gave us His plan for optimal health. When Adam and Eve chose to distrust God and ate of the tree that was forbidden, I believe that all three of the Godhead, Father, Son, and Spirit, they got together and they had a conference. And it was decided that among the three that Jesus would come and He would die for us. To take our what we had coming to us because of sin. So it was decided that Jesus would take our punishment upon Himself, and that if we would just believe, we can have eternal life. This isn't all about just good nutrition. We want the best we can have here, but the other decisions that are most important really don't have anything to do with nutrition. They're our relationship with God. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Lasong. Oh, that's right. I have some food demonstrations. Got to get to the good stuff. Before we continue on that, I have just a few resources. I think now would probably be a good time to hand them out. Resources and a couple of recipes. So anyone here familiar with forks over knives? A few, yeah. Dr. T. Colin Campbell, he has a website called Nutrition Studies. He's a research scientist in the area of nutrition. Dr. John McDougall, he has an eating plan that you can go to his website, and if you wanted to switch to that diet, you can, very simply. And Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, and another one that's fairly more recent called Plant Pure Nation. It's just a resource where you can find common interest in that area. I do have some books if anyone wants to look at them afterwards. So, put this out of the way here. Why don't you just take that stuff back there? I think we'll just, yeah, well, let's just deal with that afterwards, and we'll split after we have made this. So, Clifford's got that. I think I should move this. So before we started here, I had 3 cups of potatoes diced up and 2 cups of carrots. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna try and not spill this. I just pour all that in here. Have no water. No, it's just, it makes it a little bit more challenging to get out of here if there's no water. What we're making here is basically a cheese sauce. Yes, there's only plants in here. And this I got down in Viroqua. It calls for Butler chicken flavoring. I couldn't find that anywhere around here, so I found this at Viroqua. It's called Not Chicken. It's a vegetable-based chicken seasoning. It calls for, if you look down in the recipe, it's, where is it? 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons. These look like about a tablespoon, I don't know. The one thing about this, don't worry about if it's not exact proportions. It'll turn out fine. So we have nutritional yeast. The nutritional yeast, you can find this at the food co-ops here in town. You can find it in Viroqua. I tend to get it in Viroqua and get more because it's less expensive. So that's going to be 1/2 cup.
That supplies your niacin, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of vitamin B's in here too. Is anybody allergic to peppers? This is a deviation. You don't have to follow recipes exactly. I like peppers in there, so I'm not putting any hot peppers in at this point because I know there's a man back there. He's smiling at me. He don't like the hot stuff. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Daryl. Well, at least it didn't go in here. That's all right. I don't think it went in there. So let's see here. Yep, we got olive oil here. So it calls for a lot. I don't put hardly any, I just put a little bit in. Maybe a tablespoon or so. This is olive oil. You really don't need much in there. So I need a little bit of water out of here. A 1/2 cup. So now we got the garlic and onion powder. Can't have too much. And the last here is onion powder. Okay, sorry you got on. Thanks for watching out for me.
Right, they're both 1 tablespoon anyway, so.
You try it with fresh garlic and fresh everything?
Yes, it's very good that way too, yeah. Again, if it's not exact, it'll turn out fine. And I need some lemon. Lemon from half, I just guesstimate, I'll put a couple tablespoons in here.
Put the salt in, Bob?
Have not put in that in yet, I will. Calls for a teaspoon, I'll put that in. Do we have any plastic spoons? I could use a plastic spoon, because I like to kind of just taste it and see if it looks pretty good. Make sure it's off. What's that? Plastic spoons. It's a little bit of powder and stuff sitting on the top that I just kind of mix in there. Okay. Here, I'll just kind of walk her out here. If people want to look at it, see what it looks like. It just kind of looks like a nacho cheese kind of thing. There's nobody here that's allergic to peppers or anything, because I did put peppers in here.
Yeah. Nobody.
Okay. So I'll put some in here. And I'll put the hot peppers in here. Okay, the green bowl, that's the hot one, so you can just take that in the back there, and we'll let it sit there for a little bit, and they can sample it afterwards, I think. Thank you.
All right, thank you, John. Wow, it smells really good in here. Let's see, we'll do our quiz last, and so before we do that, I have a couple handouts for you. One is a calendar of events, and it does have the dinner on there to remind you next weekend. And then we have a survey, and I'll go through this real quick. We'd like for you to please give us your feedback on a number of things here. For instance, how did you hear about the seminar? We'd like you to rate different things like the facility, the demonstrations, what you liked about the seminar, how we could improve the seminar. I don't know that we ever did mention we have in our website that we were posting archived presentations the past. Did we ever mention that to you all? Okay, so that number 5 might throw you off a little bit, but if we did ever mention it, or you already knew about the website and you had gone there, the past meetings are on there that you can view. Number 6 says, would you be interested in attending Creation Health Advanced courses? We would like to elaborate on the topics because we've just barely touched the tip of the iceberg. And then number 7 in particular, if you'd be willing to volunteer in any capacity, if you'd be interested in presenting a topic, helping with a food demonstration, sharing your expertise. For instance, I know we have some organic farmers in here, and I know we can learn a lot from them. Or if you're in the medical profession and you'd like to, come supplement one of the topics with something that you specialize in. Or if you would like to host this seminar at another location. Also, number 8 says, what other seminar subjects or activities would you be interested in the future? Please circle any areas you're interested in. And then last but not least, are you planning to attend our dinner? If you could put the total number of guests on there. And actually, I think there was one more question that we failed to get on there. How did you like the layout of the timeline of the seminar? If you liked it, 1 week in advance for each topic, or if you would have still been likely to attend if we had condensed it a little more. How did this 8-9 weeks work out for you coming back every weekend? So if you remember that question at the end, that'd be number 10. Also, we have Paul, I'm sorry again, Paul, what is your last name? Swanson. They are in charge of the farmers market here in Richland Center, and they would like to share something with us. Paul?
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed the Thank you. I've enjoyed the sessions that I've gone to, so I appreciate you offering this program. My wife and I are the managers of the Richland area farmers market, and the market meets on Saturdays and on Wednesdays. So, are all of you here members of this church? A couple of you are not. Okay. I'd like to ask, how many of you have an opportunity to shop at a farmer's market? Many people do. Okay. How many of you have an opportunity to shop at the Richland area farmer's market? Okay. There's other markets in the area, are in Europa and Spring Green and Boscoville. Those are open. They're all Saturdays markets. And the Richland area farmers market is the Saturday market also, from starting on May 7th and going until the second Saturday in October, and it's 7:30 a.m. till noon. We also have a Wednesday market. Well, the Saturday market's at the courthouse in Richland Center. The Saturday market is on Wednesdays. It will most likely be at the Church of the Nazarene parking lot on South Main Street again this year. And that is from 2:30 in the afternoon till 5 or 5:30. 5:30 if people keep coming after 5 on that. Both markets are listed on Facebook And you can go on Facebook under Richland Area Farmers Market, and you'll be able to get a weekly update on product that's available. And we also have a webpage, which is richlandareafarmersmarket.org. And you can go on there to see what the activities, and if you're interested in selling at the market, or seeing a list of who our vendors are and that type of information, that's all on the webpage, and that's updated frequently during the summer months also. So that's all I wanted to let you know, since it kind of ties in with the subject here. We have lots of vegetables during the key part of the summer. The market will start with plants, bedding plants for gardens. Some of us will also have asparagus, and there'll be the lettuces and radishes there. And there'll be maple syrup there in the spring, maybe some leftover honey from last year, and things of that nature. But as the season progresses, we get into June, later June, and then we start to see our cucumbers and summer squashes and so on come in. So I hope to see you at the Richland Area Farmers Market this summer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you, Paul. Okay, I want to get rid of all of these prizes tonight, because this is it, so. Before I do that, on our refreshment table tonight, there's black walnuts, kumquats, and a seaweed snack. And be careful with the walnuts, because you might find little bits and pieces of shells in there. So, with the walnuts, do we remember what they said, that almonds and walnuts help fight? Going too last.
Cancer.
Was it cancer? That wasn't what I wrote down, but was it one of the? Okay, in particular, it started with A. Nope, in particular, it started with A. You know what, that's probably
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's, yep. But the whole food plant base is gonna fight cancer.
Oh,
That's all right, we are. So if you could just pick what you want. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I added some things here. We've got some sparkling probiotic drink. And your wife is not here tonight. I thought she could help me. There's cardamom in here.
Oh, that's good. I know
What is that good for?
Oh, well.
I'll tell you what, it is therapeutic. I just bought it for the smell. It smells amazing, but it is an Indian spice.
That's what they put in the Middle East in their Turkish coffee.
Oh, and their Turkish coffee, okay. And then I think, and then I did add some organic lip balm using virgin coconut oil, so that's one of our new prizes there. So we want to get through all of those tonight. Okay, so yeah, the whole food plant-based diet is going to help fight cancer and diabetes and just different things. But the one thing I remember them saying when she was talking about almonds and walnuts help fight Alzheimer's. So we've got plenty of black walnuts back there. Okay, this is very interesting. Something I just learned. Do you remember what John said about blood being renewed? Now this is multiple choice. Blood is rejuvenated every A, 4 months, B, 3 months, C, 1 week, or every day? 4 months? Okay, Carol? What is that? Oh, just pass it over to Carol. Okay. Let's see. Here's another multiple choice question. 6? Oh, shoot. Never mind. I'm going to skip that one because I almost gave you the answer. Okay, so the speakers, the program, did they advise us to just in order to gain from this whole experience with the nutrition and the lifestyle and everything, we should just completely stop everything we're doing because it's horrible and we know we're unhealthy? Or how should we approach this whole concept of choice and nutrition and activity? Anybody?
Small choices, small starts.
That's right.
Yep. Little by little.
Actually positive.
crowd out crowd out the negative with positive. I found that my biological father actually has diabetes on his side, and they've always asked me that question. And the only time I came close to it was when I was pregnant with my last child, and I ate a whole bunch of malted milk balls. And my blood test the next day was horrible. And he said, "Are you diabetic?" And I said, "Not that I know of." But that boy almost came out 11 pounds, so just have you know, it was not a good thing to do what I did. But this is really interesting because I just discovered with eating the dates that we had the last couple of times, they are so sweet that it just completely satisfied my sweet craving. So I think that's part of the crowding out the negative with the positive, just finding something that's going to work for you. And then you slowly just don't want all this other stuff. Okay, so I apologize. I really don't have enough questions to take up all the prizes here. How about, does anybody remember what broccoli, what vitamin broccoli has the richest source of?
C.
Nope.
A.
It's A. Did you say A? Who said A? Daryl? Okay, can we pass the bowl to Dale got it? That doesn't count. All right. Let me get back to this. Hopefully nobody heard with the front row here. Do we remember how many Americans, I'll give you multiple choice again, how many Americans are overweight? 5 of 10, 8 of 10, or 6 of 10?
8. 6.
Who said 6 first?
6.
Tom said it. Okay, Tom. All right. I think that's pretty much it for now. I did want to add a couple things. Apples also. They were saying that well, let me give a prize for this one. What did they say about apples and the skin on the apple?
Pectin.
She said that if you eat the skin of the apple, it does this.
It draws out the lead and then.
Thank you. It draws, excellent. It draws out the toxins. Also, go ahead. Unless there's pesticides on it, then it's adding toxins. Yep. Yeah, that was like I think that was like the #1 food that you needed to buy organic. If you're gonna eat the skin, which I do, that's really nutrient.
And even there, I've seen this past week that if you put some boiling water on top of the skin, you know, a lot of white junk that gets out of it.
The
organic
wax.
apple, so
Yeah.
That's wax.
Yep.
Is it okay?
The
The
food.
wax they use
Yeah, the
on
food.
organic apples
The
is
safe
fine.
wax.
It's different wax that they use on commercial apples.
Yeah, it's approved to eat, but I'd rather not.
Your apple needs to be organic to eat the skin.
Yeah.
It should be. I mean, you know, you do what you can. If you can't afford it, I mean, at least try to wash it down with soap, which is, you know, that's what it's there for, to biodegrade, to get that stuff off of there. But
The wax that they use is a vegetable wax, though it's
right.
not a petroleum wax, whereas
Right.
commercial is a petroleum wax base.
Yeah, I mean, it is approved for our consumption, but it's still, you know, who's gonna go eat wax, but still. Also an interesting thing that wasn't on there that I already knew about, I had heard before that, or I had read it, that the enzymes in the apples clean your teeth better than brushing your teeth. But I'm not recommending not to brush your teeth. I'm saying if you're in a situation where for some reason you couldn't brush, it's gonna clean your breath and the enzymes kill the bacteria better than brushing your teeth. And one last thing on my soapbox here before I release you, because we don't want cold cheese over that, we want to taste that cheese. One last thing on my soapbox is we keep hearing the closer to the natural form from God, the better. And I would challenge you to think about your cooking methods too, because the microwave is not close to natural.
Yeah.
You can do your research on that, and I you know, I'm not holier than thou when it comes to that. I'll use it if it's there, but we threw our microwave out probably 10 years ago. And I absolutely do not care. I don't even miss it. You know, there's other ways to do it. It's horrible, especially if you're using plastics. They said the #1 worst food to eat in the microwave was the microwave popcorn, which is so popular. Because you've got the wax inside there and the butter, or so-called butter, whatever they got in there. It's just not safe. So, yeah, the simpler the better, right? So, okay, thank you. Francis, would you have closing prayer for us?
Father in heaven, as we read Genesis and your recommendation for our eating, we thank thee that we have so many of the fruits and vegetables that we can enjoy that are healthy for us. We thank you for the program, for this creation program. And we hope that each of us has gained something from it. We can be healthier. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.